The Adam22 situation is cringe. Let me show you why. For anyone who's unaware, Adam22 is the host of the No Jumper podcast. But in this situation, who cares? The real focus here is the recent uprising of popular YouTubers and streamers, not just openly admitting to allowing their wives or girlfriends to be with other men, but encouraging it too. The weird thing is, people like Sneeko explained at certain times how traumatizing this was for him.
Feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person.
But then he goes on to say, I think it's something everybody should do.
But I think it's something everybody should do.
So, are people actually enjoying this?
I know.
Or is it all one big cope over their actions? Adam22 jumped into this situation like Ski Mask jumped into the crowd. He knew exactly what was going to happen, and he went through with it anyway. Now, in the face of regret, or maybe not, maybe some people really do just enjoy watching their partner for life be embraced by another human being, there are two options. Face your actions and speak out against it in your discomfort, or full send every defensive option you have. The issue with sticking to your guns in this case is it always backfires. Like a toddler with crumbs on his face who denies eating out of the cookie jar is anyone trying to defend their rancid actions on the internet.
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
Amber Heard literally duked on Johnny Depp's bed and then says the dog did it.
To go to the bathroom, which would happen almost immediately once you put her down on the floor. And sometimes it happened in bed too.
You ever seen a dog turd? Now, unless you got the colon of a Shih Tzu, that ain't comparable. Boo, the dog in question couldn't have been more than 8 pounds. Even if this was the fattest Great Dane in history, that turd would still be inexplicably suspicious. In the same manner of things, no one is getting fooled by your open suggestions to allow Jody to express his dedication to your wife. What seems like the rampant expansion of open cuckery online is nothing short of just cringe-inducing secondhand embarrassment.
Bro. Hey, yo, what's good, gang?
I believe a large driving factor of this is due to the expressive and judgmental nature towards anyone who now speaks out against such things.
Trust me, we're in a very good time.
This is really interesting coming from a straight white man.
Well, okay, yes.
Like, everything's always been good for you. I'm a minority.
Yeah.
Nothing's good for me.
I'm Palestinian. I'm Arab.
You're Arab.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on Twitter before? What happens is, a trend is rising in popularity or prevalence, so you decide to voice an opinion against it because you don't like it. And then you're labeled with every real and made-up word with the suffix of phobic at the end. You don't want to end up like that guy, right? So you do the opposite and you succumb to the social pressure. You're now in a place where instead of having a nice podcast revolving around hip-hop culture and interviewing up-and-coming talent, you're promoting your wife of 1 month and her experience with a man you weren't even allowed to be in the same room with. All of this stems from this idea that what other people in social groups might think about you is incredibly important and has a direct impact on the way you feel. Well, guess what? You're going to feel worse when Jody is done, and people are going to berate you anyway. Just don't do it. Or do. You have a 3-pound organ in your skull that is so sincerely amazing that it defies the laws of its own construction, and you use it to contemplate lending your wife to other people. That's weird, dog. At some point, it's important to remember society as a whole has a fascination with things that are taboo. People will argue that times are changing and monogamy is outdated. But the reality is that this wouldn't even have a leg to stand on a decade ago. A changing timeline is not an indication of good, or to be fair, bad things, but it is to show only that perspectives are changing. A lot of individuals will complain that these more conserved practices are outdated, but completely forget about the concepts surrounding them that they also so actively preach for. Communication and consent being the most prevalent in this case. Because of the increasing importance people are placing on societal perception, situations like the Adam22 scenario are going to become more rampant as people try to gain a larger and more positive presence in society based around promoting things that are not common. This isn't always a bad thing, but it's not usually a positive one either. Think of those disgusting-looking food creations on TikTok, or any fashion runway in general. These are all a means to promote something that's different. It catches your eye because it's not the norm. Furthermore, they're going to do this while promoting it as a good thing, even if they don't believe that themselves.
I couldn't, I was literally having PTSD watching that.
Remember how I said communication and consent were going to be the most prevalent issue in this case? The idea of pressuring your partner to do things they don't want is already extremely common. The same community that preaches boundaries will socially exterminate you with insults of you being insecure or weak if you live for the boundaries you create, such as wanting to be monogamous or loyal to one partner only.
Would it be misogynistic if a man said all women are trash?
Yes. It's the same way as like reverse racism.
So in that case, isn't it kind of, misandry for a woman to say that all men are trash?
Oh, I wouldn't say so. I mean, yeah.
So are you a misandrist?
Close to, but I'm trying to come out of that.
Am I trash then?
Sure, yeah.
It's never a matter of good or bad to them in these cases. It's if it benefits themselves. It's one big repeating cycle of people who are worried about their social perception and making a difference, even if it's bad, and doing anything they can to be seen. At the end of the day, all of this is just an extended way to explain to you that cuckoldry, people promoting it, and the Adam22 situation are cringe. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to share, maybe share some food or a good game. Maybe not your wife.
Tommy, she left you because you're kind of ugly and you don't make that much money.
Take care, stick to your boundaries, don't let other people influence you, and be blessed.